The Supreme Court will today pronounce its judgment on the constitutional validity of Aadhaar. Among the questions asked in the multiple challenges to Aadhaar, can the state mandate a person to share their biometric information? Is that a violation of privacy? Does the nature of Aadhaar in collecting biometric information enable 360-degree profiling of individuals and the creation of a surveillance state? Should the government be permitted to exclude those without Aadhaar from its welfare delivery network? Does Aadhaar improve welfare? Is there sufficient protection for the massive amounts of data that the state has collected as part of the Aadhaar project? Watch the space for more. It's Wednesday, September 26th. In 2014, when the 16th Lok Sabha was voted in, it was found that 1/3 of the new members of parliament face criminal charges. Data from election affidavits analysed by the Association for Democratic Reforms found that the percentage of lawmakers with criminal charges went up from 24% in 2004 to 30% in 2009 and 34% in 2014. ADR also found that candidates facing criminal charges were more than twice as likely to win as compared to those with clean records. Why are we talking about criminalization of electoral politics? The Supreme Court on Tuesday urged Parliament that it must make a law to ensure candidates with criminal antecedents do not enter public life. The 5-judge Constitution bench of the Supreme Court was delivering its judgment on petitions seeking disqualification of candidates against whom charges have been framed from contesting elections. Presently, under the Representation of People's Act, those convicted lawmakers are disqualified, not accused ones against whom charge sheets have been filed, but the trial is incomplete. More specifically, politicians convicted of crimes that carry a prison term of more than 2 years cannot contest elections for 6 years after they leave prison. Attorney General K.K. Venugopal, appearing for the centre, had submitted during the hearing that a person was presumed innocent until he was proven guilty, and nothing prevented an accused who won an election on public mandate from becoming a lawmaker. Expressing its concern at the criminalization of politics but not wanting to enter into the domain of the legislature, the court issued a slew of directions to political parties as well as the Election Commission. Some of them are: candidates contesting must declare their criminal antecedents, political parties must put up criminal antecedents of their candidates on their websites, forms of Election Commission which are to be filled up by candidates should contain details about their criminal past and pending cases in bold letters. Just weeks after the Supreme Court's historic judgment partially striking down Section 377 and decriminalizing consensual sex between adults irrespective of their gender, a Kerala High Court division bench has allowed a woman to live with her female lover. The court was hearing a habeas corpus plea filed by Kollam resident Shrija S., who alleged that her partner Aruna was being illegally detained by the latter's father. A division bench of the court passed the order after questioning Aruna, who was produced in court. The 40-year-old petitioner alleged that Aruna's father had detained her at a hospital for people with mental illnesses in Thiruvananthapuram. Aruna told the court she wanted to live with Shrija. The Lahore High Court in Pakistan has issued a non-bailable arrest warrant for Dawn Assistant Editor Cyril Almeida and ordered that his name be put on the exit control list for not attending proceedings in a petition seeking action against PMNL leader Nawaz Sharif on charges of treason. The Lahore DIG has been directed to produce Cyril before court on the 8th of October. Former Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif also has to appear on that day. The court was responding to a plea filed by a petitioner, Amina Mallik, who has sought action against Sharif for what the petitioner says was defaming of state institutions during an interview with the Daily. Nawaz Sharif had, in an interview to Cyril Almeida, admitted to the role Pakistan played in the Mumbai attacks, questioning why Pakistan had not yet been able to punish the perpetrators of the 2008 Mumbai attacks. He said militant organizations are active, call them non-state actors. Should we allow them to cross the border and kill 150 people in Mumbai? Explain it to me. Why can't we complete the trial? This in a reference to the Mumbai attacks-related trials which have stalled in a Rawalpindi anti-terrorism court. India has repeatedly urged Pakistan to complete the trial at the earliest and said that enough evidence has been shared with Pakistan in order to prosecute the accused. In that interview, Sharif also said that Pakistan's version of its commitment to fight terror was not being accepted by other countries. He said, quote, "We have isolated ourselves. Despite giving sacrifices, our narrative is not being accepted. Afghanistan's narrative is being accepted, but ours is not. We must look into it." Pakistan's Human Rights Commission has condemned the issuance of the arrest warrant for the journalist. In a statement, the commission says Almeida, a highly respected journalist, is being hounded for nothing more than doing his job, speaking on the record to a political figure and reporting the facts. As a law-abiding citizen, Mr. Almeida has no reason to appear before the court as directed. The statement calls the warrant an excessive measure and goes on to say the ease with which Mr. Almeida's interview with the former Prime Minister was perceived as an attempt to allegedly defame state institutions, and the pace at which this has spiraled into charges of treason only serve to further choke press freedom in Pakistan. Journalism, sensible, rational and independent journalism, is not a crime. It most certainly is not treason. And finally, delegate, 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 baby. In a site that has a swooning Neve Tiaraha, 3-month-old daughter of Jacinta Ardens, the Prime Minister of New Zealand, attended the Nelson Mandela Peace Summit during the 73rd United Nations General Assembly alongside her parents in New York on Monday. Sitting tight on Ardens' partner Clark Gayford, a fishing television presenter's lap, baby Neve was even given an official security pass that reads, "New Zealand's first baby." 38-year-old Jacinta Ardens, who is only the second woman ever to have given birth while in office, almost 30 years after Pakistan Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto, has become a global symbol of balancing work and maternity. Tweeting later, Ardens' partner quipped, "I wish I could have captured the startled look on a Japanese delegation who walked into a meeting room in the middle of a nappy change. Here's to taking babies to work. Have a good Tuesday and keep laughing."